Allah. Oh my gosh. I don't know which title I like more, honestly. What's up, everybody? Welcome. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. I'm launching. Got a couple of things to talk about tonight at a late night. Okay, let's do that. Let's update it then. Two big topics to talk about. Let's get on Rumble. Hey, yes, CH, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the 10. A lot of people late night. Unrest, civil unrest, turmoil. What's up, guys? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let's get started. What else? Is that everything? I got everything. Mr. Trump. What's up, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. 2000 deep. Late night. Late night. Donald Trump won like an Obama Iran. He liked his own post. Say no more. We got a bit to talk about. I have a really interesting article that was sent to me about the uranium. We've shown this picture a couple of times. Trucks at the site. I wonder if we should start with that first, and then we'll get into the sleeper cell and everything, all the craziness that's happening. Maybe we'll start with that. Let's start with that. Officials concede they don't know the fate of Iran's uranium stockpile. I'll see if I can find that picture again for those that missed it. It was all over X. I've shown it before. Uranium stockpile. Do they have that picture here? Okay, here it is. This is what they're claiming. I don't know. Check this out. Breaking news. Iran is finished. Oh, Iran. If you say Iran, they get really upset. Iran is finished with Fordo, Natanz, and Bushehr. The job is done. Enrichment. One day before the strikes, Iran quietly moved its entire stockpile. 60% uranium, enough for 2 to 3 nuclear bombs. Nuclear weapons are now at Iran's fingertips at an unknown location. That's what they're claiming. We're going to get into an article, but here's this picture that was everywhere. It had gone viral. And I wasn't sure. I saw this picture. This was obviously before the strike. And people were talking about, were they getting uranium out? Or maybe they were just coming and bringing stuff. Well, now they're saying supposedly it's being claimed that they moved out the supplies. Moved out the uranium stockpile. Vice President J.D. Vance and Rafael Grossi, the head of International Atomic Energy, acknowledged questions about the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile near bomb-grade nuclear material. So, a day after President Trump declared Iran's nuclear program had been completely and totally obliterated by an American bunker busting bombs and a barrage of missiles, the actual state of the program seemed far more murky, with senior officials conceding they did not know the fate of Iran's stockpile of near bomb-grade uranium. We're going to work with in the coming weeks to ensure that we do something with that fuel. And that's one of the things we're going to have conversations with the Iranians about. J.D. Vance told ABC's This Week on Sunday, referring to a batch of uranium sufficient to make 9 or 10 atomic weapons. Nonetheless, he contended that the country's potential to weaponize that fuel had been set back substantially because it no longer has the equipment to turn that fuel into operative weapons. The Iranians have made it clear that they're not interested in having conversations with the United States, accusing Washington of deceiving Tehran during the last set of negotiations while planning the air attack. Moreover, that stockpile of fuel is now one of the few nuclear bargaining chips in Iranian hands. In a briefing, a few reporters on Sunday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the new chairman of Joint Chiefs Staff, Dan Kane, avoided Mr. Trump's maximalist claims of success. They said an initial battle damage assessment of all 3 sites struck by the Air Force B-2 bombers and Navy Tomahawk missiles showed severe damage and destruction. Some people were trying to say that the missiles missed. I haven't heard anything about missiles missing. That's not what I heard. So I haven't seen anything to say otherwise. I've heard that the missiles did hit. Everything I've seen says the missiles hit. But the big question is supposedly this fuel, and also now like this, I guess this uranium they're talking about. It says here, the Fordo uranium enrichment plant in that Iran built under a mountain showed several holes where a dozen 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrators, one of the largest conventional bombs in a U.S. arsenal, punched deep holes into the rock. The Israeli military's initial analysis concluded that the site, the target of American and Israeli military planners for more than 26 years, sustained serious damage from the strike, but had not been completely destroyed. So this is the Israeli military's initial analysis, concluded that the site, the target of American and Israeli military planners for more than 26 years, sustained serious damage, but not been completely destroyed. But there was also evidence, according to 2 Israeli officials with knowledge of intelligence, that Iran moved equipment and uranium from the site in the recent days. And there was growing evidence that the Iranians, attuned to Mr. Trump's repeated threats to take military action, had removed 400 kilograms, or roughly 880 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity. It is just below the 90% that is needed to be used in nuclear weapons. The 60% enriched fuel had been stored deep inside another nuclear complex near the ancient capital of Isfahan. Rafael Mariano Grossi, the Director General of International Atomic Energy Agency, said by the text that the fuel had last been seen by his teams of the United Nations inspectors about a week before Israel began its attacks. Okay. Asked by text later in the day whether he meant that the fuel stockpile, which is stored in special casks small enough to fit in the trunks of about 10 cars, had been moved, he replied, I do. That appeared to be the mystery about the fuel's fate that Mr. Vance was discussing. If so, Isfahan would not be the only place where the custodians of the Iranian nuclear program, a subject of nationalistic pride and symbol of Iran's ability to defend itself, were trying to move equipment and material out of sight. Satellite images released by the Maxar Technologies at the tunnels leading into Fordo Mountain, taken in the days before the American strike, shows 16 cargo trucks positioned near the entrance. An analysis by the Open Source Center in London suggested that Iran may have been preparing the site for a strike. It's unclear exactly what, if anything, was removed from the facility. That's the big question. Was that anything actually removed? Were they just preparing? Were they bringing stuff? Were they taking stuff? I don't know. In fact, there was only so much the Iranians could save. The giant centrifuges that spin at supersonic speeds, purifying uranium, are piped together and bolted to the cement floor. One U.S. official said it would have been unrealistic to completely move equipment of Fordo after the conflict with Israel began. The official added the historical documents under the nuclear program were buried in the bowls of the site, likely complicating any efforts to reconstituting it. In the coming days, both Iranians and intelligence agencies expect to learn more about the Natanz enrichment site, which is older, larger, and less well protected than Fordo. So I guess we'll have to see. How long would it take for Iranians to repair and replace the equipment is unknown. It would probably stretch for years. So they did significant damage. I don't know if they got away with this uranium or not. The Iranians have been at it for more than 20 years, and an archive of data stolen from Tehran warehouse by Israel a number of years ago showed that the Iranian engineers were exploring nuclear triggers and other equipment that would be used to detonate a weapon. That was around 2003. Interesting. So the big thing, the missiles did hit, but was it completely destroyed? I don't know. And that they make off with uranium. And even if they did make off with it, could they even use it? How long would it take for them to rebuild a facility that can, what did they say it does? Store deep inside. So that's the big thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. By the way, Californians, I don't know, what do they call them? I don't know what they call them. I guess Californians or liberals. I don't know. Kamala Harris is running for governor, according to California reports. That's what people are saying. I'm not surprised. And maybe that's good for Cali. You know, there is no, I don't know, Gavin versus Kamala. Gavin, maybe he'll run for presidency. I don't know. I don't know if she'd win or not. But whatever's worse is what Cali should get. That's what they always vote for. So good luck. She's strong. With Kamala, you can't go wrong. She's quiet. She's strong. With Kamala, you can't go wrong. She's strong. With Kamala, you can't go wrong. She's quiet. She's strong. My West Coast people, good luck. God bless you. So this is this was something else. So Piers Morgan, I thought this was kind of interesting. He said most military strikes ordered by U.S. presidents have been done without the prior congressional approval. She either doesn't know this or does not know it and hopes nobody will remember so she can score a cheap political point. In response to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying it's unconstitutional without authorization to strike. It's grounds for impeachment. Oh, this was messed up too. Somebody posted this. Marizeh Ebrahimi was the victim of an acid attack simply because she didn't wear a hijab. This is the life for Iranian woman under Islamic regime. Islam. This is a big thing too. A lot of people were not happy about this. Trump, I guess, posted. He said this: "It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?" MEGA. What he said? What he said? MEGA? What you call me? MEGA. That's what they call Mexicans. MEGA. This is kind of what like people were saying, like, oh, they never. This was about forcing a new leader, putting somebody in that they want in control, they themselves. You know, I don't know. So people did not like this. Make Iran great again. People say we shouldn't be involved. Let them, whatever. We took their nukes or whatever. Leave it at that. MEGA. I don't know, man. What's going on with these people? He's definitely trolling with this one. He ain't serious at all. Trump. Candace Owens says, and just like that regime change, we were simply being politically correct before by not using the term. Why are conspiracy theorists right about everything? Looking forward to real MAGA explaining to the traitors how resisting regime change is usually woke right. Well, she's been paying attention when they call her woke right. He probably is just trolling. He probably is, because the reaction that's coming out of this make you run great. Chinga tu migra. What is it? It was heads exploding. Now, this is another big story. This happened tonight. This was kind of a big deal. LA County Sheriff's account deleted this post responding to President Trump's strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. There's currently an orchestrated digital attack being placed on Trump. So I like this post better because it actually shows the before and after, the edits. Colin Rugg posted this. And so basically, the original post said, "Our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. While this tragic event occurred overseas, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is closely monitoring the situation alongside with our local, state, and federal partners. At the moment, there's no known threats to Los Angeles County. However, in abundance of caution, we're increasing patrol checks at places of worship and other sensitive locations." So they edited that out. They actually deleted the post, I guess. And they took out that part, that Iran part. Deleted. So I don't know what they think about it. They're seeing it as political due to its geopolitical context, including Iran's nuclear program. Such a statement risks being interpreted as taking a stance. We stand with Iran. LAPD. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Los Angeles, which is typically outside of law enforcement's role. The LSAD's primary duty is local public safety, not foreign policy commentary, while some argue it's humanitarian gesture. It can't be seen like that, too. So there was a big outcry, backlash. LA County Sheriff's Department facing extreme backlash. We should go take a look at their page. LA County Sheriff. I wonder if that person's getting fired. LA County Sheriff. Oop. Let's see. Yeah, they're bombing. They're posting a bunch of. They're flooding their own page, maybe to try to get away from this. I don't know. Okay, missing person. So special bulletin, missing person. Oh, they apologize. Message from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We're issuing this statement to formally apologize for the offensive and inappropriate social media posts recently posted by our department social media platforms regarding ongoing conflict in Iran. This post was unacceptable. What? What? What's up, you guys in chat? Thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate it. Wow. This post was unacceptable, made in error, and does not reflect the views of the Sheriff Robert G. Luna or the department. As a law enforcement agency, we do not comment on foreign policy or military matters. Our mission remains solely focused on protecting the public. We recognize that the words and messages we share carry weight, and blah, 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 blah. We've updated our social media posts and have launched an internal review. Wow. Wow. So I don't know if they're going to get rid of somebody, because this kind of makes me think a little bit about what happened with the Hodge twins. I've been wanting to talk about this, and I keep forgetting to talk about the situation that happened with the Hodge twins. Let me see if it's probably the first post that pops up. Yeah, this is it. So the Hodge twins, there was this controversy. I think it happened yesterday, and the internet, or X, was going crazy. Okay, so the Hodge twins, first of all, I like these guys. I've watched them for a long time, on and off, on and off. I remember when they first started, I think like a long time ago. I think they were just like into working out and stuff and comedy. Like they were just funny guys. And then they went political, you know, and they're on the right. And well, what happened with this whole situation with Iran, they feel that we shouldn't be involved. We shouldn't have bombed Iran and all this stuff. And so some people are saying, well, they backstabbed, turned cold, they turned their back on Trump. So at the same time, while they're making all these posts on X, we don't get nearly as excited for the potential for war as the bootlickers and neocons. We always hold the line and speak up against war, whether we're right or wrong in the end. At the same time, their Facebook page, President Trump just unleashed American might, ordering a devastating attack on Iran sites at Fort Nazan, Esfahan, crushing their dangerous ambitions. For 14 years, Trump's been crystal clear. Iran cannot have nukes. And he's followed through with a historic strike that's got the world in awe. A payload full of bombs rained down, and our brave warriors made it home safe. Despite the fake news from Axios claiming Trump might allow Iran's uranium enrichment, he shut that down on the Truth Social. We will not allow any enrichment of uranium. Democrats and their media pals are scrambling, crying foul, but patriots know Trump's keeping America safe. Iran's chant death to America while funding. So you get the thing. And so it wasn't just one post, it was like a bunch of posts. So on Facebook, it's a whole different view of the whole situation from their page. And on X, you're getting a whole different view that completely conflicts with each other. And so the Hodge twins came out and said that there's some lady managing their social media, and that like this was written with Chat GPT or something. They didn't write this out. So I could see the possibility in that, but at the same time, I don't know how you don't know what's being posted on your page. You know, I can understand somebody running your page, but like if they're posting all this pro, like attacking Israel, pro Trump, and on the other hand, it's just talking out. What's the saying? You're talking out your mouth both sides, talk whatever. So one social media platform is this, the other one's that. So a lot of people were kind of calling it out, and some people were like, "Hey man, I can't get mad. Fuck it, they're hustling." Some people were saying they're grifters. The Hodge twins are grifters, playing both sides. And then some people are like, it's not real, even when you put the link. So I like the guys. That's fine. I don't care if we disagree or whatever. I like the guys. But yeah, the posts are crazy as hell. Hell, you know, on one side, you're slamming Israel and Trump, and on the other side, you're like praising them. You know, it doesn't make any sense. The same pages, different platforms. So whatever side you're on, I guess you have to go. If you're for it, go to X. If you're against what happened with Iran, you go to X. But if you want the same person you telling you something else that you want to hear, then you go to Facebook to hear that. Whatever pleases you, I guess, you know. It's just so fucking, it's crazy. So they got called out for that. They're still getting called out for that today. And I get it. To run social media, it's just like if you're, I mean, they're really big. But even me, like I can't keep up. You know, I try to keep up with my emails. I don't like people sometimes trying to run my stuff. I've had people sometimes try to help me out, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't really reply. Like I don't know. It's just something I want to have control, you know what I'm saying? What's being put up. But at the same time, if you have people running your stuff, you can do like the LAPD or the Hodge twins. I could put some crazy shit out and be like, yo, it wasn't me. That was that was Sheila. You know, or that was Pumbaa in India or so whatever. It's, you know, I'll fire that person, wink, wink. and we'll give the role to somebody else. So at the same time, that gives you plausible deniability. It's almost like insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't me. Just make up a name. Tika said this shit. It was me. We'll look into. We're doing an internal investigation. You know. So yeah, that was the LA, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. So they apologized. A lot of backlash. People were like upset about that, and so they've apologized. It reminds me of the news page too. I don't know if it was it KTLA or no. I'm trying to remember what news station dropped the N-bomb on Twitter. Like hard R, yo. Which news station? KTLA apologizes. Okay, it was KTLA. Yeah, KTLA apologized in 2025 April. They dropped this. Well, so what they said, it was a technical error. I gotta take notes in case some crazy shit ever happens with me. I can. Hey, it's a technician in India or so whatever. It was a technical error. It wasn't me or my employee, my intern. I gotta start taking notes for the time from when my time comes. You know what I'm saying? Aloha. Hey Gavin, how you doing? Thank you so much for watching. Happy Sunday, happy summer. It's amazing that we have summer off. I took my daughter to the pool earlier. It was just amazing. I realized I have a hard time. I have a hard time putting my phone down. It's really hard for me to like disconnect. And so doing that was like really good. It was therapeutic, but it's hard. I have an addiction to like, just the phone and the computer and technology and always having to be plugged in. But I realized once you put that shit down, once you put the phone down, the computer, whatever, everything's like doesn't even exist. I mean, it exists, but like it's just gone. Like it doesn't even matter anymore. It's just like all this war show, this craziness, whatever. You put the phone down, you turn off the computer, it's quiet. The birds are chirping, the water, the wind, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. Let me get back to the topic. Crow. My cousin works for sheriff's office. She controls their social media. She's the only one with the login info. You gotta understand these players. Oh, I believe it, Crow. Yeah, I totally believe it. I totally believe it. We able to gift points? I don't think so. I can give some points. I don't think I have to figure that out after. um. Oh yeah, and to be fair, so the Hodge twins, because they were kind of going back and forth with Loomer, and I don't know if they were like friends, personal friends. Like a lot of these big people know each other somehow or another, you know. But Laura was talking about she's going to delete all the people that she has on her phone, and so the Hodge twins called out Laura because Laura, I don't know when she tweeted this, but at some point she had tweeted today. Nikki Haley went on CNBC and called for the U.S. to bomb Iran. Nikki wants more war in the Middle East, which means more dead U.S. soldiers. The only person who has proven that he won't create more wars is Donald Trump. So he tweeted this to kind of call her out, which, touche, right? And Esty, because she's another influencer that she's actually pretty funny. She's a funny lady. She's the one that does the Kamala Harris impersonations. Well, she's gotten kind of involved and she's calling the Hodge twins frauds and pulling up their, like I said, again, if you go to Facebook, it's pro-Trump. I don't know how long it's been going on, but not that they're not pro-Trump. They just don't agree with this decision, I guess, what's happened with the war stuff. But if you go to one place on Facebook, it's one thing. On X is another thing. So they're calling it out. But again, they gave their explanation. Somebody runs their social media. They don't even use. I can understand that too. Facebook is like no for the people on Facebook watching. The platform is just so outdated. It really is, and for creators too, it's horrible. Like you don't even really make money there anymore. I used to. There was one year I made more on Facebook in the year than I made on YouTube. 1 year, that's never happened again. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. Facebook is just so out of touch. It's a shame, but it still has its whatever, I guess. And again, some more people calling them out. Maybe they were called out for being shameless grifters overnight, blah, blah. The damage to the nuclear sites in Iran is said to be monumental. The hits were hard and accurate. Great skill was shown by our military. If they really got out with the uranium, that's going to be something else. You know, I don't know how long it would take them to use that. Or Iran was cooking. I haven't seen this, Heather. I just saw this now. The link you sent me. Hold on, let me see if I can play it for everybody.
There's clear America first rationale for the bombing, even if you ignore Israel entirely. First, civilian nuclear energy requires 3 to 5% enriched uranium. Research reactors use 20%. Nuclear bombs need about 90%. Iran's been enriching to 60% since 2021. There is no peaceful reason to do that. 2, going from 60 to 90% takes weeks. After that, it's much harder to track what they're doing. In 2023, the IAEA found uranium particles enriched to 83.7% at Fordo. Why strike now if they've had 60% for years? Because between February and May of this year, Iran boosted their 60% stockpile by about 50%, enough to make multiple bombs. Iran's regime, the Islamic Republic, chants death to America.
Almost looks like the people that were protesting this whole immigration stuff, burning the flag and all this stuff.
Now, to be fair, America's history of missteps in the region has contributed to that hostility. But acknowledging mistakes in history doesn't mean ignoring threats in the present.
That's interesting. That was a good breakdown. There's accounts like this too. You should be careful. Like I said, there's some type of infiltration. Oh, look over here. Based on available evidence, Texas-born is likely based in Georgia, not Pakistan. They consistently state on X, I currently live in Georgia. So I don't know what's true with these people, because they're saying there's some type of infiltration. Some of these people are saying they have these American accounts and they're based out in India somewhere. So I don't know what's going on with that. And I just thought this was funny too. Candace Owens, she actually made it onto Iran state media. They're now featuring her tweets. She's gotten so popular with Iran and their cause that they put her tweets up on TV. And so, what does it say here? The most predictable war plausibly ever. I'm so sick of Israel and those who pretend its actions are normal or even remotely justifiable. This country has a bloodlust like no other. Having an issue with this tweet, I literally do not care. Think defending Israel's demonic actions is going to guarantee you a spot in heaven? Double your indulgences and sign your offspring to die for Netanyahu. Leave the rest of us the hell alone. And so she's being featured on Iran TV. You know, she's really kind of taken to these people. Iranian analyst Nahid Porisia on U.S. strikes. Thank you for the excuse to destroy you. I haven't even listened to this yet. Let's check it out. Is it in English?
Hey, you gave us a very good excuse, the reason, whatever, to just destroy you. It's been years, decades, that Iranian commanders are wishing to do what they are going to do today or tomorrow. All right? We're gonna end not only the Zionist entity, we're gonna remove the Yankees from this region.
Oh.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You have to understand the consequences, the crushing consequences of what you did this morning. I don't care how much damage you created. I don't care if we were able to protect our sites. I do not care about that. What I care is you dare to invade our airspace. You dare to start a direct war with Iran. This war will be ended by the full victory of Iran, by the full victory of Iran. And after this, Iran is going to be a great global power.
Wow.
And for that moment, pray to God for your existence. Okay? You murdered Haj Qasem Soleimani from the January 1:20 a.m. We are waiting for this moment. You gave us this. So thank you. We don't forget you murdered Haj Qasem Soleimani, and it's so hard to hold back this anger, to not allow this anger decide for us. Now it's the time. It's only the anger. It's only the anger of oppressed people all around the world that Iran is leading. Iran is keeping this anger. We are agitated. We are in the moment of revolution of 1979. You gave us that moment back. We are living 1979 Islamic revolution again, and you will see the impacts of it. You will see. Death to America, down with imperialism, down with Zionism. That's it.
Damn. They're pissed. Sleeper cells. Many people are worrying about this. So when I was looking it up tonight, it seems like they've been talking about sleeper cells for a while, but people are very concerned after the attack. NBC is reporting that Iran warned President Trump it would activate sleeper cell terror inside the United States if it were attacked. So they sent communication to Trump in the days before last night's strikes on nuclear facilities, threatening to activate sleeper cell terror inside the United States if it were attacked. The message got to Trump through an intermediary at the Group of Seven summit in Canada last week. Sleeper cells. I believe it's very, very possible. They're definitely
and Fox
around.
News contributor Mike Pompeo. Welcome back to Fox News Sunday. Let's talk.
I'm not going to any large
about your reaction this morning. You have long known the threat from Iran. You've heard the criticism this morning of the Trump administration in its first round, withdrawing from an agreement that the left and others want to argue is actually helping us to keep an eye on their nuclear ambitions. Your reaction this morning?
Well, good morning, Shannon. I was listening to Senator Kaine. I remember 2015 when I thought the JCPOA, the nuclear deal, was a terrible deal. He said President Trump's cabinet was against withdrawing. I can tell you one cabinet member was not. I wasn't. I thought it was the right thing to do to keep America safe. Here we sit in 2025. Many of the provisions of that very agreement would have expired by now or have expired in another 36 months. It had put Iran on a pathway to a nuclear weapon. It created enormous risk for the United States. And today, and last night, President Trump has taken action to reduce that risk dramatically for the United States, for Israel, for the Gulf Arab nations, and for the world.
So now we wonder what Iran's next move will be. I want to read something from the Economic Times. They say this: with the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei forced into hiding and Iran's military leadership in disarray, security experts warn that the regime could now resort to activating its global network of sleeper agents to retaliate. These individuals, embedded across Western nations, may receive orders to target public spaces, religious sites, or high-profile political figures, including U.S. President Donald Trump, who remains a top target due to his role in the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in 2020. You have an understanding of that? How worried should we be about potential sleeper cells in this country and other places?
Shannon, it's a real concern. I'm confident that President Trump took this into consideration as one of the risks when he decided to be so decisive to get Iran away from its nuclear program in the deep way that he did. We have an FBI that's doing good work. Iran has been trying for many, many years to come after former senior government officials and other Americans here inside our country. They've actually taken assassination efforts here in the country and in Europe and Paris and Brussels. These are real risks. We need to do the necessary to protect the American people. And there's always risks and trade-offs in every decision that a president makes. He made the right one last night in going after the Iranian nuclear program in such a serious way that will undoubtedly set them back 4 years. And now we need to do the necessary. Protect our soldiers, sailors, and airmen wherever they may be, at Al Assad Air Base, at Al Udeid, any place we may find them in the Middle East, and those of us in the United States as well. I'm confident that we can do that too.
I want to quickly ask you about this. Iranian officials are calling for the UN Security Council to have an emergency meeting. Here's what the UN Secretary General said, part of it last night. I'm gravely alarmed by the use of force by the U.S. against Iran today. This is a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. There's no military solution. The only path forward is diplomacy. The only hope is peace. The UN, not known as a place that is supportive of Israel and many times the U.S. What do you make of where they may go with this?
Shannon, that statement from the Secretary General is sad, but sadly predictable. The UN has become deeply anti-Semitic. It's voted against Israel dozens and dozens of times. And for the Secretary General of the United Nations not to understand who the aggressor was here, wasn't the United States. The aggressor was not Israel. They were the ones that have been attacked time and time again by the Iranians. On October 7th, a couple thousand still hostages held in Gaza by the Iranians. The Houthis firing missiles into Israel, into the U.S. ships in the Persian Gulf, by the Iranians, not by the Americans. This is Iranian aggression. And for the Secretary General of the United Nations to say, oh my gosh, the United States has raised the threat. No, the threat was raised by the Ayatollah and his henchmen, not by the United States and not by Israel.
Secretary Pompeo, always great to have your insights and your expertise. You know the Iranians well. So thank you, sir. Good to have you.
Sure. Terror sleeper cells. Who's next, man?
Across the United States, the ongoing Israeli-Iran conflict brings the possibility of increased threats to the homeland in the form of possible cyber attacks, acts of violence, anti-Semitic hate crimes. Secretary Kristi Noem. Now, will Iran really try to kill Trump, or will the globalists kill him and blame it on Iran and have their excuse for full war? And Trump's walked right into that trap that I've been talking about before anybody even mentioned it, before they even started pre-programming it. The day they tried to kill him in Butler, I said, next it'll be Iran. 3 days later, Iran was behind it. Of course, they weren't. Oh, they busted some guys working for the Iranians out of Pakistan. Turned out they were working for the CIA. Useful idiots. You know, the FBI goes out and creates these groups. The Terror Factory, look it up. So now we're here. Oh, the sleeper cells, told you that was coming. Not hard.
Sleeper cells.
And then now somebody drives a truck into a church in Michigan, jumps out to kill everybody. That guy, the security guard, took him out with a deacon jumping on him. They both got shot, but nobody else did because they're heroes. Still a good guy with a gun, countering a bad guy with a gun. Here's Tom Homan on the sleeper cells.
Can you assess that issue particularly? How many Iranians are in the country that are in sleeper cells trying to do bad to America right now?
Well, look, you and I have talked about this many times. I said the last 4 years, my biggest concern was this open border was the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. So I pulled numbers this morning just from a CBP under Joe Biden. There was 1,272 nationals of Iran released in the country between OFO and the Border Patrol. And you compare that to the Trump administration, zero. Right, zero releases. And right now, because of President Trump's leadership, we have the most secure border in my lifetime, most secure border in the history of this nation. So we have a secure border. That was President Trump's big win on securing this nation. So we're not releasing people in this country. Special interest aliens aren't crossing that border undetected. But under Joe Biden, we had over 10 million people cross that border. But my biggest concern from day one, beyond the fentanyl, beyond the sex trafficking women and children, were the 2 million known gotaways. Over 2 million people crossed that border. We don't know who they are, where they came from, because they got away, because Border Patrol is so overwhelmed with the humanitarian crisis that Biden created that over 2 million people crossed the border and got away. That is my biggest concern, and that's what created the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen.
And you have that on surveillance, seeing people get away. Do you have a sense of where they went?
No, you know, the intelligence community under President Trump has been on this since day one. What gives me any comfort at all is that you don't have Christopher Wray there. You got Kash Patel there. You don't have Alejandro Mayorkas there anymore. You got Kristi Noem, and you certainly don't have Kamala Harris as a border czar. So President Trump brought a great team, been on this since day one. Do we know where every one of the 2 million are? No. We don't know who they all are. We don't know why they're here, where they came from. But we do know Border Patrol intelligence for the last 4 years, they found prayer mats south of the border. They found identification from people from Iran, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Syria, south of the border. So we know that some terrorists have crossed that border. We'd be a fool to think zero cross. The thing is, though, we got President Trump as a commander-in-chief who's put all resources on that. That's why President Trump, from day one, ICE operations, despite what the left media says, he has been focused on national security threats and public safety threats. And between ICE and the Bureau, we've removed thousands of national security threats because of President Trump's leadership on this.
Yes, that's right. Tom,
So you saw Operation Rising Lion, where the Israelis over 8 months stuck all the missile parts and drone parts in and took out the air defenses and a bunch of their leadership. That's just like a month ago or so, Operation Spiderweb, 4,000 miles.
Spiderweb.
One of the targets, taking out the Russian nuke bombers, part of their strategic triad, NATO derailing the peace deal. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say Iran, the ability to penetrate it, surrounded by all the mountains and all its checkpoints and everything. It's just a natural fortress. Infiltrating Iran because their leadership's unpopular, I'd say is about a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Russia's about a 2.5. To infiltrate, the U.S. is an 11. Totally wide open. They have no idea. But we know Hezbollah has said they've got sleeper cells all over Europe and the U.S., and that's part of their plan is to use them.
Maybe some of these sleeper cells, maybe they start acquiescing themselves to their new lives and have a change of heart. Just, I'm trying to die for this bullshit. I got family, I got money, I'm in America, shit's good. But a lot of them are brainwashed. I mean, I'm sure they'll do it for the cause.
But the globalists could also false flag and use that as a pretext and take out Trump. They've got to walk into the trap and say, anything happens to me, blow him off the map. He's asking for it. Surface-to-air missile him, you name it, say they did it. Roll a truck bomb in, say they did it. So this is a very, very serious situation. Home front command tightens restrictions to highest levels after U.S. attacks on Iran sleeper cells. Dramatic footage. Watch the moment an Iranian drone hits an apartment building. Goes on and on. U.S. officials issued terror threat alert for potential cyber attacks, which they can blame on Iran. And finally, Trump is following Iran strikes. And then, a few hours ago, late this morning in Michigan, suspect shot, killed by security guard after shooting.
Yeah. All that has anything to do with that.
Cross Point Community Church in Wayne, Michigan, crashing through the wall in a truck, jumping out with a machine gun, reportedly.
Damn. Maybe that was, what's that guy's name? Community Church, Wayne, Michigan. Hey, he was targeting a church. I mean, the thing is, there might not even be sleepers. I'm sure there is sleeper cells, but I'm saying there might be just crazy wackadoos that see what happens and they want to go exact revenge. Wayne, Michigan. Church shooting. Security guard. What's everything we need to know? Okay, they had a press conference. He said the department received multiple 911 calls, 11 a.m. Sunday. Witnesses told the gunman arrived at the church and began driving recklessly. When he exited his vehicle, he was wearing a tactical vest and he was armed with a long gun and handgun. He approached the church and opened fire. There were 3 or 4 church staff members in the area at the time. Strong said a parishioner struck the gunman with their vehicle as the gunman shot at the vehicle. Damn, they gangster over this. A gangster-ass church. If it wasn't for the security guard, the armed people, it would have been probably a lot of dead people, deceased. At least 2 staff members were shot. At least 2 staff members shot the gunman, killing him. Damn, that's a G'd up church. That's where I need to go. Wow. The police said the suspected shooter was 31-year-old man from Romulus. Where the hell is Romulus at? It's a part of what his motivations are still not known. Motivations unknown. What's the guy's name? Wayne Church shooting. Did they release it on X? Let me take a look. This one says 30-year-old Brian Browning. Is he military? I don't know if that's true. This one, crazy.
the door being shut in his truck, blocking him with a valiant deacon, and then the security guard shot him dead. Thank God for those men. Michigan church active shooter killed. Here's footage of some of that happening today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Get out.
Come on. Everybody to the back. Please, everybody come to the back. Come to the back. Don, they gotta come. They gotta come. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Go. Out, I don't think is a good idea. Come on here.
Man.
And again, you can't hear the full auto gunshots reportedly because it just blacks out the microphones. It's so hot. That's what's been reported. Got a bunch of shots off but got killed. So this is what you can expect. We'll find out. Government opens fire at Michigan church, injuring one person before being shot and killed by security. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back and go to your calls on this situation to continue on with Chase Geiser and Sunday Night Live in the third and fourth hour. He'll be loaded for funded by you, the viewers and listeners.
Next?
Go to thealexjonesstore.com, get the very best supplements, widest selection of Patriot apparel. And right now we have a huge deal on our capsule methylene. You can become a subscriber in the store. Each is a bottle of our amazing
Methylene blue. I don't know, man. I don't know. Iran. This is messed up, too. Look at this. Somebody made this map. Hey, Iran, just a reminder. Iran. Reminder that this is the U.S. Check this out. Please circle this. I guess all the red states. This will kind of perturb me a bit. Why did they circle Florida like 6 times? What? Yo! Wow. Wow. Jeez. Alex Jones. This just happened. This is a recent article too. Anderson Cooper is Andrew. I don't know. I feel like they're always doing this. How is he always caught up in some type of situation? You know, they got caught one time with green screens a long time ago.
You guys hear him?
Okay.
From the hotel, they're warning all the hotel guests to go down.
These are the alerts that go out on all of our phones when you're in Israel. It's a 10-minute warning of incoming missiles.
You want to finish this?
Well, we should probably go down.
We should probably go down.
So is this actually working?
Yeah. You guys hear him?
Okay.
So again, you can hear the sirens going off. This is from the hotel. They're warning all the hotel guests to go down.
We expect an alarm in the next 10 minutes.
We're back with Senator Bernie Sanders.
That was it. CNN caught 10 years ago. Is it this one? I thought there was one like there were.
It's a vital and strategic warm water port for a country where much of its coastline is frozen in by ice, especially during the winter months. Part of why it is so valuable to Russia to have the Crimean Peninsula as a place where its Navy can move in and out of. And on top of that, and I'll remind you again, this is a U.S. Navy destroyer, the Truxton, that sails normally out of Norfolk, Virginia. On top of that, the Russian military at this point is blockading a number of Ukrainian naval vessels in the Crimea at their home port. There's actually scuttled at least 2 ships to keep Ukrainian Navy Union in Kiev, the movements of naval war.
Wow. They have a couple other ones. I saw one. There was like a. Which one was it?
CNN fakes location report after Brian Williams discussion. So classic. They cut from Brian Williams to talk of Ukraine, where they got caught 2 years ago with a guy going, "Are you ready for me to fake the shooting?" Okay, start shooting, claim dead bodies. And then they would, I mean, it's a joke. That was Anderson Cooper again. They're all a bunch of Brian Williams liars, in my view. The term surreal may not adequately describe.
Looked to have been bitten by the green screen bug yet again. This time, however, from the other side of the so-called news desk. Cooper doing the interviewing, with CNN international correspondent Nick Patton-Walsh supposedly reporting from the front lines of the Ukrainian civil war, except with half of what looks to have been a much shortened interview being marred by visions of the most segment after discussing a rapid growth.
Anyway. Law enforcement surveillance.
Surveillance of Iran-backed operatives in the U.S. to monitor possible
they might be watching.
Domestic sleeper cells. Some officials have warned that suspected terrorists may have entered the country through open borders. And in the past,
Remember
Iran
that
has
new
even
doomsday
threatened
clock in the 80s? I think we at like 10 p.m. now.
to assassinate U.S. public officials. National correspondent Janae Bowens takes a closer look at these rising concerns.
There's fear about potential threats tied to Iran, not overseas, but right here at home.
With the way that our border was down for 4 years, there could be cells here that could be activated by Iran or proxies and groups that are loyal to Iran.
White House border czar Tom Homan warning of a potential 9/11 style attack.
It's coming. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. There's 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
CBS News reports that as President Trump weighs potential U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, the FBI has ramped up surveillance of possible Hezbollah-linked sleeper cells inside the U.S. as tensions escalate following Israel's military strikes. Concerns about sleeper cells resurfaced in 2020 after a drone strike ordered by Trump killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Iran vowed revenge, and in November, the Justice Department said it thwarted a plot to assassinate Trump.
If they did that, they would be obliterated. That'd be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left.
No new sleeper cell plots have been made public. However, officials say the threat is still real. And the New York Post reports Iran's supreme leader may try to activate sleeper cells in the West.
The problem with saying, well, how good are these cells is that, well, if they're a really good sleeper cell, you don't know about them until they do something.
We need to be prepared.
I don't know. Are they planning something big or is it just all talk, hot air? They're not really going to do anything. Is it just BS?
An area has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, so it's not surprising the strike on Iran became topic number one for the mayor and the Democrats who want to replace him. They were out today on the last day of early voting, and so was political reporter Marsha Kramer. She's here with that part of the story.
Well, Dick, as a matter of fact, it's not unexpected that Iran was top of mind. What was surprising was that the warning from Mayor Adams and others that the decision to bomb Iran could have had repercussions here, nearly 6,400 miles away in New York.
You are always concerned about sleeper cells. We're going to ensure that we focus on sleeper cells.
Mayor Adams taking seriously warnings from Washington that Iran could activate sleeper cells here to seek retribution for the bombings. Rebecca Weiner, NYPD Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, tells CBS News New York her agency has been on alert for days.
We are doubling down on our efforts. We are doubling down on...
So don't worry, New York is on top of it. You're safe. And that sardine can, New York Times, that you guys are in.
On reaching out to partners internationally, federally, doubling down on all of the monitoring that we are doing.
This as the bombing became topic A on the campaign trail for those seeking to win the Democratic mayoral primary. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo also warning that something could happen here.
As a New Yorker, my natural instinct, former governor, former HUD secretary, New York should get ready for possible reprisal by Iran.
Cuomo, like many of the other candidates, took issue with the president ordering the attack on Iran without consulting Congress. While you don't support the way President Trump actually...
Okay, all right. Cat Turd made a post. He's been catching a lot of heat from the people that disagree with Trump. He stood by Trump, stayed on Trump's side while the war was happening. He said, I'm glad everyone is realizing that a bunch of these so-called influencers, this was yesterday, who pretend to be on our side are complete utter frauds, doomsday red alert, and end-of-world scammers. Rich kids who never got a real job. Experts on the military who never served in the military. I'm an Army vet. Clowns who can't even run their own accounts. Oh, he's taking shots at the Hodge twins. Clowns who can't even run their own accounts and have other people post for them because they're too dumb to run their own business. And they're playing both sides for cash, con artists, and snake oil salesmen. Now you know why I never got to any events or never go to any events except for mine, which is just about playing music. Being someone who actually lived in the real world and worked a regular job for decades, I can smell BS a mile away. I realized early on that I was amongst snakes. I'm so glad you can see who they are now. That was yesterday. Damn, he was taking shots at the Hodge twins. What's the reply? I know they replied under this. No reply. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. You know? Damn. Cat's heard.
The next protests will be for a nuke not being shish 0T at the U.S.
IMC, thank you for the 10, man. Appreciate that. MAGA isn't fractured. The last 24 hours exposed the frauds. Damn, 3 hours ago. The frauds. The last 24 hours have exposed the undercover neocons who may not know it, but they're 100% undercover commies looking to create one world police. Go F yourselves, traitors of America first. Man. Real MAGA since the escalator ride report in. Always remember the podcast bros change with the wind. Oh, shit. I love that term. I feel like I coined the term. I don't know if everybody. I always say I don't know what to think about the brothers, man. I like them, but I don't know. Maybe they were playing both sides. I don't know. Maybe they. Who knows what really happened? You know what I'm saying? But I did see they kind of turn on Trump a bit. But I mean, you could disagree with Trump and still, you know. But some people were just trashing him. People that said they like him and ride with him trashed him. They turned their back. Some people did. And then they kind of turned their tune a little bit after the attack. Some of them did a little bit, or I guess they're waiting to see what happens. But I like the term blow of the wind. Blow of the wind people. I love you today, and the next minute I hate you. I'm unsubscribing, and then 2 streams later, I see you there in the chat. There was some lady that kept I realized she was saying it every live stream. Maybe they were just trolling. I'm leaving. I'm unsubscribing. And I keep seeing her again. I'm like, damn, I thought you said you were leaving. And then there was some lady the other day left a comment, and she was complaining. Like, you change. I can't stop getting your notifications. I can't do this. And I'm just like, just unsubscribe and go. What the hell's wrong with you? Lynn, thanks. Let me check it out. And then she's like, fine. I was like, good riddance. Some people, you just don't want them in your life. Thank God you're gone. Jesus. Think I want to deal with that shit? President Trump, thanks. We'll meet National Security Team at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Oh, okay. According to public schedule by the White House. Oh, okay. They got a... I hope it's not... I wonder what's going on. Cat turd. Damn. That Cuomo face kind of made me jump a little bit. Oh, there was some crazy post. Where was it? They were talking about let me see something. Oh my God. Ozempic neck. I never even heard of that. Supposedly, because this picture went viral of Netanyahu And his neck, I don't know what that is. I just said he's a reptilian or something, or he was cloned. Maybe he was cloned. Alex Jones said that it's Ozempic neck. I never even heard of that. I didn't know that was a thing.
You know what I see in the photo right beside this video? I see Ozempic neck. Pompeo's got it too.
Wow.
Okay, that's what happens when you take synthetic Gila monster venom.
Oh,
destroys your muscles. Damn. Makes the fat go away, destroys your connective tissue, your heart, freezes your intestines. This is Ozempic neck. They also Ozempic butt. The butts look like that too. So I get mad when people say that I'm on Ozempic. No, I'm on working out and diet, baby, and that's why I've gained muscle and lost fat. So Netanyahu has Ozempic neck. He also loves to try to start a nuclear war, and he's doing a pretty good job of that so far. It's called Ozempic neck, not a CIA mask or a lizard mask.
A lizard mask.
Not a reptoid lizard under there. But
I literally commented that as a joke under somebody's thing. I say it's a reptilian.
There is a spirit in there just as bad.
Oh, man. This lady's okay. Let's see what she had to say.
I did a serious video about what's going on in Iran, but now I'm finna break it down in a nutshell what happened, all right? Okay, so from the beginning, well, somewhere from the beginning. All right, Netanyahu, I call him Yahoo. That's the man over there in Israel, right? He kept saying, hey, Iran got nukes, and I'm going to go and hit their ass up because they got nukes, and they keep saying they're going to wipe us off the map, so I'm going to just hit his ass first. Donald Trump said, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to send my folks over there. I'm going to send Tulsi Gabbard over there, and she going to see if they got nukes. So she went over there with her intelligence team in March, and she said, hey, it look like they ain't got no nukes. And Trump said, all right, cool, that's fine. They ain't got no nukes. He done went and told Yahoo, listen, she done went over there and checked. Rock and roller Ayatollah ain't got no nukes. She done went and checked. So I'm going to need for y'all to chill out, and like my plan was, is peace, and we all finna make some bread. Well, Yahoo just wasn't satisfied with that shit because he war hungry. Looked like he want to stay in power forever, and as long as they at war, he gonna keep his seat. So he was like, nah, I know they got some nukes, and I'm finna go over there and strike their ass. Donald Trump was like, hey, player, don't do that. We want peace. Well, Ayatollah Khomeini said, rock and roller Ayatollah, he said, death to America. Trump said, look, I already told you I ain't in that shit. I'm not sending Israel no money. I'm not sending them no weapons. I'm just not in that shit. Leave America out of this. We ain't fucking with nobody. We want peace over here, right? All right, they get into it. Israel go and bomb their ass, and I'm talking about bomb their ass, right? So rock and roll Ayatollah was like, oh shit, oh this how we playing? All right, everybody finna feel it. Donald Trump said, hey, who the fuck is everybody? I just told you, America's not in it. We don't want nothing to do with this, player. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, we want peace. We really want y'all to shake hands, but since y'all on that gangster shit, we just gonna bow out gracefully. They said that shit again, death to America. Everybody gonna feel it, sending out all them threats. So DJT ain't finna take that shit laying down because he always been a G, uppercase G at that. So Trump was like, all right, bet. I'm going to see what's going to happen in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks, if we ain't broke a peace, then we going to figure something out. Well, behind the scenes, DJT was like, well, I done found out you got 3 sites where you could have been making nukes. And so since you still talking big shit, big game player, I'm finna send some shit over there, and we just gonna get rid of that shit where you could have been making nukes, all right? Boom. So he go and send 3 strikes. He just obliterated 3 nuclear sites over there in Iran. And when I say nuclear sites, I'm talking about where they could have been making bombs underground, right? So what they drop could go through, like, I think 20 feet of concrete, you know, like the big shits, right? So they just went over there and they obliterated 3 nuclear sites. So Trump basically, from what I can see, is saying, all right, what you thought they had, I done went and took that shit away. Now you ain't got no reason to keep going over there and fucking with them. I told you I wasn't finna get rid of their supreme leader, rock and roller Ayatollah. He's still over there. And as for you, rock and roller Ayatollah, keep our name out your motherfucking mouth like I told you from the beginning.
Oh, shit.
That's it in a nutshell. Now, we going to see how this shit go. North Korea pipe down. China pipe down. Because, again, we ain't scared of shit now, but we do want peace. Now, let's get together, stop all this beef so we can make some bread. That's it in a nutshell.
Damn. It says at KEIBENET, at Key Bennett. Iran's leader faces worst crisis since taking power. The military.
The IAEA said they had uranium enriched up to 60%. I hate morons like this.
Damn, the woke right. Damn, everybody's capturing it, man. The woke right. Everybody's catching on to the Hodge twins. Even Michaela Peterson, that's Jordan Peterson's daughter. She said that damn. Hodgson says, "Can we hire you to post on our FB for us so this doesn't happen again?" I don't know that she would. She wouldn't take that job. She got money, man. There's one side and there's the other side. However you feel about this, if you want the anti-bomb or whatever, you go to X. Or if you want the pro-bomb shit, you go to Facebook. Everybody's on them. The woke right. Oh my god, that's funny. This is kind of funny to me. Oh shit, LA Sheriff. Oh damn. Toot toot. Hey. Oh, wrong thing. Toot toot. Oh no, girl. Oh Lord. That's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I see you pimping. My neck, my back, my. The only thing is I have beard and hair, something you can't grow. That's why my neck's not showing. Let's see what else. What else we got? Breaking from North Korea's prepped. I don't know if I believe these Iranian accounts. Shit. All about these Iranian accounts. They said North Korea's prepped and ready to supply Iran with nuclear weapons. That's the claiming earlier too. Crazed stalker stabs 2 Good Samaritans. Wow.
You are smart enough, you know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
Do not mess with me. Let me see if there's anything else. What else? Damn. Footage from occupied Michigan. This is some supporters of the Palestinians.
To live in this country. Dare you claim you're not privileged when you're sitting in a house that isn't rubble, when you're drinking water that isn't yellow, when you're with a family that isn't wrapped in white? Unless you're an immigrant, you didn't choose to live in this country. So don't tell me you're not privileged. Dare
Privilege. Damn. Anti-ICE rider outrage after police didn't care when she got hit by a car. What? Hold up.
Hi,
Damn.
my name is Jennifer Tiernan, and on Saturday after leaving the No Kings protest, I was struck and injured by a motor vehicle while leaving the protest. The cops here in Catskill, New York, took several days to get an accident report together. and they would not give me any information. They never interviewed me after the accident. I've been asking for information for days because I've been very traumatized by this event. And now, in order to re-traumatize me, the cops here in Catskill are telling me that it's my fault that I put my human body in the street to be hit by a motor vehicle. The people in the motor vehicle actually got out and started screaming in my face after they had struck me. I spent the rest of the day in the hospital having x-rays and MRIs, CAT scans on my pelvis and on my head. And they never came to check on me. They never came to ask me any questions. They never did anything. And now they're giving me a citation for being in the road. So, honestly, I think that's a bunch of crap. And I'm very, very upset because I want to press criminal charges against this person who hit me. And the cops just handed me a fucking citation saying that it's my fault, that my fragile human body got hit by a motor vehicle after the protest. I have not yet seen the videos. They refuse to show them to me without a FOIL request, which of course I will file. That's all I have to say for now. But protect and serve? I don't think so.
Oh boy. Woo. Hit by a car. I saw a couple of videos like that. People hit by cars. The protests, some of these people are just not, they got places, they got to get to their kids. They got to go to work. Maybe there's some type of emergency. They got shit to do. They got time for all this. They're showing the Islamification of Michigan. Anti-ICE protests. Toot toot, hey, beep beep. All right. Yeah, we have 4,000 people in here. Oh shit! I'm kind of like just kind of kicking back, like doing whatever. I didn't realize we have 4,000. I thought people left. I was just trying to see what other craziness I could find on here. Americans are burning their MAGA gear. They feel betrayed by Trump. Yeah, there's a lot of people. They feel very, 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 very betrayed, very upset, angry. People are very upset, burning their hats, going to war. X is just a mess right now. People, it's an old video. Dearborn, Michigan. Okay. Yeah, I guess people, some people are really, they're done. No more. ICE. This was ICE 2, ICE raid. Car shop owner got into an argument with ICE.
Hey, don't hurt him! You don't need to hurt him! Did you ask him for his papers? No diga nada, no diga nada! Hey, you have rights! No diga nada, no diga nada!
Didn't even hear anything to say. Oh, it's right here.
What the is that? Who are you? You guys literally look like criminals.
like criminals. How are we acting like criminals? Because you're running around my whole yes. Yes. Illegal aliens that are working in your operation. Hey man, you want to carry it? That's good. So they're illegal aliens. You're hired at your place of business. That's what you're saying.
You know what? You were an immigrant too.
Then go away.
Your family was an immigrant too, you
Lord. There's another link that I had here. This says here, this is a viral post. Nick Shirley, U.S. veteran, predicts U.S.-Iran strike days before it happens.
Would you support the United States getting into the war with Iran?
No, not a chance.
What do you think should happen?
Precision strikes, just precision strikes, get rid of any ability for them to have a nuclear weapon, but no boots on the ground, never again. Countries like Iran, you can't allow them to obtain any sort of a high enriched uranium to make a weapon. If they want to have nuclear energy, that's another thing, but highly enriched uranium isn't meant for nuclear energy. That's only meant for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to make a bomb.
How dangerous are these people over there in those parts of the world?
The people of Iran are great people. If you look at Iran in the 70s and the 80s, it was very much like any other country, first world country. But with the Ayatollah and with the extremists, taking away women's rights and education, they went backwards instead of forward. They damned themselves a little bit. The people are fine. It's their leadership that needs an adjustment.
And should the United States go after that nuclear weapon that they are apparently building?
1000%. Yeah.
You would support them going into the war?
Yeah, I would. It wouldn't be a war, so it's not a war.
So say they did enter into this war, how long would you think this would last? Do you think it'd be one missile, one bomb, and it's over?
I think, it's never just one bomb. I think if you're looking at, it'd be a tiered precision strike, so it'd happen in phases, but it wouldn't be something like Bush's, coin fight, the counterinsurgency fight with Iraq, Afghanistan for 20 plus years. It wouldn't be a continuation of that. I think Trump would live up to his word of it being just, hey, we're just going to strike this and that's that. I don't like the fact that we have to get involved in stuff like this, but when you have a country like Iran who potentially they're working diligently to try and get a bomb, that's scary. That should be scary for any American or anyone in the Western world.
Okay. That was Nick Shirley. He's been doing really good. I think maybe that's it for now, for tonight, maybe. Or I don't know. What else is going on? Anything else? The B-2 stealth bomber is the crown jewel of the U.S. air dominance. Doesn't fight air superiority. It defines it. $2.4 billion. AI's taking over the world. Nothing's real anymore. This is crazy. What is this? Like a gas thing or something? Oh, shit. No audio. Okay. Fast forward a little bit. That's just going for a minute. Oh, somebody comes. This lady comes here. She's checking it out. Should I go inside? She goes inside. Hell nah. Oh! Wow. FAFO, for real. Holy crap. Where did that come from? The other room? Look at that. Kitchen or whatever? The other. That's wow. You better get the hell out. That's crazy. They didn't even have time to react. Damn, that's wild, yo. Where did the guy go? That guy was gone before the lady even took off. Boom. He dipped out. He was long gone. She's still like kind of reacting, seeing what's going on. He was long gone. Lucky, very lucky. And as the original poster said, lucky that the windows and everything was open, because if it wasn't, yeah, it would have been probably even worse. Final Destination. I haven't watched the new one, by the way. ICE protest?
Man.
Oh, they're in Portland again? Oh my God.
You know the church.
We're waiting for the SWAT. SWAT's over here. They went
That's
in deeper.
That's a pretty cool picture. It came out. I wonder what settings they use. That's a cool picture. It looks nice.
Who are you talking to me? I work for myself. I'm self-employed.
La bocina, disculpen. No, el grillo está aquí al ladito.
Yep. Only in
I wonder what setting that is.
There probably is a.
It's like not. It's like looks fake Portland, but real at the same time.
The standoff. Yeah, Kings County Sheriff's School. So we have a standoff. The guys
There's no action in Portland Ice
in
tonight. I'm looking at it right now.
Right here, SWAT is behind.
Standoff too. Let me see that Portland feed. Portland protest. They've been going to the same place every day and trashing it. Oh, come on. Oh, nobody barely moved.
Thank you for liking the live. Welcome. Thank you for joining the team. Just hit that logo, y'all. Just tap the screen. I'm about to get off of here in a few minutes.
They're just hanging out. Those guys ain't got nothing to do. Thank you, though, for tagging me. UN chief gravely alarmed by U.S. bombing Iranian sites. Kamala. What would Kamala have done? Oklahoma man brought to the U.S. as a child faces deportation. Ilhan Omar says America is becoming one of the worst countries.
To be coming out of our country. I mean, I grew up in a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like that. To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets without any regard for people's constitutional rights, while our president is spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade. It is really shocking, and it should be a wake-up call for all Americans to say this is not the country we were born in. This is not the country we believe in. This is not the country our founding fathers imagined, and this is not the country that is supported by our Constitution, our ideals, our values. And we should all collectively be out in the streets rejecting what is taking place.
Ilhan Omar. Okay. Ilhan. I'm afraid to scroll Twitter because sometimes they got really inappropriate stuff on there. Going in on Ilhan. Let me see what else, man. Let me see if any interesting lives. What time is it? 12:41. Skyline. No sirens going on. Let's see what else. What else is popping tonight? Anything else? Bakersfield. Who's the sleeper cell? Candace? Tucker? The Hodge twins? No way. Oh my God. And summer. I'm glad it's summer. I can sleep in for a change. It's nice. Who voted for Hakeem? I want to know what, let's see. What else has Laura Loomer said today? Any other outstanding beefs? Ugh. Sorry, let me mute this thing. Mute it. Jesus, the most I've ever messaged before.
Trump are speaking out against this this legislation, because if you
Nothing really. End stage society. I don't know what this lady's doing. I'm afraid to even hit play. She's digging in her pants.
No, it's not, we're not done yet. We're not done yet.
What the hell?
What are you going to do when I can't do this for you? What are you going to do? We're not done. $17 a shot.
As adults who pay rent, 15 shot is not. Oh, they're talking about shots. Sneaking in alcohol. Nothing has changed since this video was recorded a few years ago. But Candace is Jews didn't change, Islam didn't change, but Candace definitely lost her mind. See?
Islam. Possibility for Islam to coexist in the West. Do you think that's feasible? I'm not talking about individual Muslims who are lovely and peaceful and all of the rest of the preface stuff that we have to say before we talk about this. But what are your views on Islam?
How's it going in the UK? Those are my views. Okay, they have different views than us. Their views are that Western civilization is corrupted and awful, and it doesn't follow their code of ethics. It doesn't work. You cannot say that you can coexist peacefully. What's happening in the UK is the greatest example. What's happening in Europe, there's a European crisis going on right now, okay? They have different ideas of what freedom is. Their idea of freedom is not freedom whatsoever. And you brought up Ayaan Hirsi, and I've followed her closely, and what she says is so important. She is someone that has defected from it and is telling you exactly what goes on. It's amazing to me that people think that somehow if you bring people that actually hate Western civilization to Western civilization, what they're just going to warm up to it and say, we'll coexist peacefully even though everything you do sickens us?
Well, they will coexist peacefully until the demographic changes are enough that they know. Until. Is Islam, are the central doctrines of Islam compatible with our most foundational Western values? You couldn't have a clearer answer, and it is no. Now, many Muslims might decide to ignore the endless stuff that's useless in their holy books, but when the demographic changes allow you to then implement further intrusions on the rest of us, it's going to happen. And there's
thank you on Rumble. Thank you for the 5. Whoop whoop.
1,400 years of history that suggests this.
Good luck, Europe. I don't see how Europe's going to get it back. I genuinely feel that they're done. People have asked me this question all the time, and I've looked at it and I've said, no, I think they're done. I don't see how they can get it back. I view America as the last stand for Western civilization. It's why it was so important for us to show a sign of support in Israel. They are our only allies in the Middle East, and the fact that it took us this long to take a strong stand for them is ridiculous, right? So I lived with a Muslim girl, so this is not at all an attack against peaceful Muslims. It's just a basic understanding that Islam and Western civilization are never going to be friends because they're fundamentally different ideas.
So she's changed. She's changed her stance and her feelings and thoughts on the whole thing.
You probably can't read what this says on Iranian state TV, can you? But I got you. No. It's quoting and promoting Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. You cannot make this up. And ask yourself, why are two so-called America First influencers coming up as heroes on Iranian state media's propaganda machine? And what about Tucker Carlson? 1 minute he's anti-Iranian government. Next minute,
I think Iran deserves to be annihilated. I think they're lunatics. I think they're evil.
Oh, he visits Qatar and suddenly Iran's a teddy bear. What a coincidence, Tucker. I guess we can just follow the money. It all makes sense, doesn't it? And Candace, you're a mom, a woman. How can you support Iran's government that murders teenage girls like Nika? All she did was protest. She was 16. What if it was your daughter? Do you think Americans are this stupid that none of us will ever see what's on Iranian TV screens? That we won't notice which side you're actually on or getting a paycheck from? This isn't America first. This is Iran first.
Make Iran great again. I'm moving to Iran. I'm moving for a better life. Miga. I wonder if Trump was for real. Miga. Make Iran great again. Maybe that can be their slogan too. Maybe they can improve on things over there. Miga. I posted earlier on X. I said I'm moving to Iran for a better life. Hook me up with a rug. The Supreme Leader awaits you. Alan, you crazy. I just saw this. I wouldn't go right now, man. Things are too crazy over there. Hell no. I don't even know if I'd go for...
Wearing mega hats. Look, if you love freedom like I do, please share this video with a friend who's getting fooled with this cringy terrorist propaganda and have them follow this page. The world is waking up.
Damn.
Niga, please.
Yo! Oh, man. Oh, shit. That was funny. Well, all right, guys. I guess that's it for tonight. I'm going to work on the website. If something crazy happens, I will come back. But I guess get some rest. Have a good night, y'all. Appreciate you guys. Miga done lost his mind. I got Miga. Oh my God. You guys are crazy. Bye. Good night, guys. Take care. There's a lot of people late night.